Hello and welcome back. I'm trying to find out the gap between a casual gamer, me, and the best players in Gran Turismo Sport. Now, because you drive in lots of different classes of cars in Gran Turismo and the gap could be different across whatever that class of car is, I'm doing an average pace gap. So I'm taking my time from qualifying and then comparing it against the best and averaging it out across all the races that I've done. So far, that gap is just over 3 seconds, which isn't great, but it's also nowhere near as bad as F1 2019. On track, things also not much better, not really getting the results, but that might be about to change. See, now I've got a driver rating of D and a sportsmanship rating of S, and I'm being put into rooms where everyone's rated DS, which means now I'm amongst similar rated drivers. There might be a chance to at least get a result on track. So let's see if we can bring that pace gap down and try and get some sort of result on track. My name's Ash, this is The Outside Line. So we're back at the Nurburgring in the 83 Golf GTI one-make race. Last time out, if you remember, started 4th, dropped to last. Not great. However, this time round, I had my first pole by quite a distance. So without any lighting or sound setup ready, I actually decided to roll camera, sensing a potential first win. 2.5 seconds faster. I'm going to mess this up. Confidence, as always. Now keep an eye on 7th place, Zura PL. Sorry if that's the wrong pronunciation. Keep an eye on him. He has a very interesting race indeed. I'm going to play in the video, but as you heard, the sound was awful, so I'm just going to commentate over. Second ever grid start on GT Sport goes a lot better than the first. Traction control can now be knocked off for the duration of the race. We switch on the radar, and it's the run down to the first corner, which takes a while when the cars are this slow. The concern is obviously being dive bombed through this hairpin. Have a look at the radar as someone does hit me so hard they evaporate. I seem to survive for the most part, and my reaction, my mime silent movie reaction there will tell you I am not happy picking up that penalty. As you can see, completely undeserved. It's the first time I've actually fallen foul so far of the GT Sport penalty system. Probably the first of many. I'm taking my first steps into a larger world. So, out of the first complex, have a little glance behind. You can see that second place has got a 2-second penalty. Everyone else seems to be clear. Considering the run I've got out of those first few corners, I might get away with this. The focus is just try and keep that gap as big as possible before hitting the penalty line. When I did the other race in this, I found through corners that my under braking, I kind of squirmed wide. Managed to fix a lot of that, so I managed to attack those corners quite well, have a decent enough gap when serving the penalty. However, there's a slightly delayed reaction as the momentum of all the cars not slowing down only just starts to catch up. So as I exit the corner, you can see I now realise I have got people all over me. So coming into the next corner, stick on the inside line, make them go round the outside, and I'm able to just tuck back in front. And the concern once again is, will I get dive bombed down the next corner? So I remember thinking, I just want to attack this corner, don't give people a chance to come back at me. And as you can see, it goes pretty well. Just a quick note back to Zura PL, already up to 4th, doing pretty good so far. And as we make the run up to the chicane, over a second is the gap. Survived a penalty on the first lap to lead. We skip forward, that gap is now over 5 seconds. Zura PL up to 2nd as well. I crossed the line, set fastest lap, and now it's all about keeping it clean, do nothing stupid, and it should be an easy, if not slightly underwhelming, first race win. Zura PL actually about held, slightly shut the gap between us. I had a very messy final lap, but it was enough to secure race win number 1. Yes, please. I shouldn't be as excited as I am. Yes, it may only be a DS rated room, but first pole, first victory, you've got to start somewhere. Now just a quick look at the results afterwards. Zero PL by under a tenth of a second managed to nick fastest lap off me. Then comparing my qualifying time to the best afterwards, further dampener, over 7.5 seconds slower. Every silver lining really does have a cloud. So at this point I was now ready to make videos for the channel. See, I'd been capturing races, but I'd not made any videos yet. I was getting myself set up to, do this. I was now ready. I did my F1 2019 episodes. Less said about them the better. Then I did some stuff for Gran Turismo. Now at the time, as luck would have it, Group 3 at Interlagos was one of the daily races, which is the exact same as the very first daily race I captured for this channel in the last video. So not only was it a chance to try and improve my pace gap in familiar surroundings, I could also see if in that sort of 2 or 3 week gap, if I'd improved at all. No pressure.
I think it's fair to say I've had more success here so far than I have on F1. I think that's mainly because I'm not transitioning from remote to wheel. I've only ever played this game with the wheel, and even though that doesn't mean I'm immediately amazing, I think I'm getting used to it quicker.
And we'll see exactly how quickly when I make that comparison. I must admit, I'm in the R8 this time. I didn't realise I was going to be able to make that comparison, so I would have stuck with the 911 I drove last time out. Is what it is though, let's see how we do.
Straight onto radar, and what has happened there? He's absolutely been caught napping there.
No, I must admit, it was going through my head at this point that I had won last time out, I was leading again, and there was no reason why I couldn't hold on for another win, maybe increase my driver rating. I was getting carried away in my own head.
Okay, been gifted the lead. I've now got 5 laps to hold on. Ooh. And I won't hold on like that. Oh, it is such a harsh track limit round the outside of that corner. I don't feel like I gained half a second by doing that. That seems very unfair, but I did know it was there. Oh my word.
Yep, can't complain too much about that one. You know there's a track limit there. Once you get caught out by it the first time, that should be enough to tell you, yep, don't run wide. Very uncomfortable, as you can see, very squirmy, not really focusing on the road ahead. Clearly kind of thrown off a little by getting that penalty, knowing that the penalty line is coming and that I've got a Russian in a Supra right behind me.
Okay, they're gonna have the slipstream on me over the main straight, so do I go defensive or do I just let them go, knowing that I've got the penalty here? Well, I think we're just gonna let them go. Oh, I've gone wide. I've gone very deep, but he's hit the brakes early. Maybe he's just waiting for me to pass through this penalty line. There's a queue of cars, but there's also a couple of other penalties behind me. So he will go past me. Not too bad. I have avoided anything else because everyone else got penalties. So head down now. Jesus, head down, come on, let's focus.
Now I need to give myself a reality check every now and again. I know I'm in DS rated rooms, I'm a long way from the top, but it's really nice to have some close racing at the sharp end. So I've got first ahead of me, third right behind me. It's really nice to kind of get involved and feel competitive and quick, even though in the grand scheme of things I'm really not. So Milan is just up ahead in the Supra. Plenty of straight line speed for him to kind of get away over the start-finish straight, but we are staying with him. However, a bit of a lesson to myself that I think I need to not speak as much while driving. You'll see why in a second.
But as it stands, we're still in this. Just need to touch the grass. Talk about a commentator's curse, for crying out loud. Oh, and now I'm just being silly. Stupid. That was stupid.
And as I'm chastising myself, I then drop another position very easily, allowing the German through on the inside. Let's have a little look at the replay. The standard camera angle replay is actually quite funny, because it's... Oh, there's an R8 in second. There's yellow flags. There's no longer an R8 in second. Wonder where he's gone. From the chase cam you can see what happened. It's literally the back rear tyre, back right rear, just catches the grass, and in rejoining and messing it up, I'm down to 10th. So, we rejoin lap 4 now, and as you can see I'm still rattled by it all, not focusing properly. I've actually put traction control back up to 1 because I feel like I need the assistance. Because of that, I've left the radar off, hence letting the Dutch driver through so easily, chasing him over the start-finish straight, now fighting for a top 10 place rather than first.
I could have done better than this. Oh. Did I just hit someone? Oh, run. Didn't put the radar back on. Oh, head's gone. My head is just gone. I've just ignored the track limit. It's... I was the second fastest driver in this room coming into it. I was keeping pace with everyone up the front. But look at my race pace. A 140, a 135, which is my best time, a 136.
Now keep a little eye on the radar.
Oh, someone's just banged someone into me and gifted him 12th.
Bit of collaborative overtaking there.
I'm actually going to full-on finish in last. That was shocking.
Now, it wasn't clear to me at the time what led to my last lap penalty, but it is now. Paxi Zozo misses his braking point. I'm fine, but he makes contact with me and goes off, so as a result, I get the penalty. There's a reason why Zozo is also the name of a demon, clearly. Let's just get my reaction again as well.
Oh.
At that point, I thought it was time for a format change.
With the camera on, I kind of feel like I constantly want to commentate. Which is fine if I was a good enough driver, but as has become very apparent, I'm currently not. So I need to focus more. So I'm just going to run audio I'm going to use the cheeky little driver radio every time I want to say something. And then, for the most part, you'll just get my reactions. And good old future me. I really hope I can source the official F1 driver radio sound effect, because I'd be quite happy with that, actually.
Yeah, I could source the F1 radio sound, but I was worried about copyright infringement, so I just stuck with my own. Also, I know what you're thinking. I've just done a whole video where I recorded no video and didn't drive any better. So, probably a false idea that turning the camera off will suddenly make me a better driver.
Okay, so the last time I was on pole, I won the race. Not the sort of stat I want to get into my head at the beginning of this, especially when I was second last time and threw it away. Here we go. Let's get through the first corner without problems.
You can almost hear me psyching myself out of it. Also, you may have noticed our friend Paxi Zozo in third, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for him throughout this race. But through the first corners without any problems, it's just a case of keeping head down now. And like I said, I was only going to try and talk when I had something to react to. I thought if I focus on the driving, I'll do better. Interestingly, I didn't then speak until about a lap later, where I had this positive gem to drop.
Still really untidy around that middle section. Really not got that nailed down at all.
Yep, that's the power of silence and pessimism leading me on. Skipping forward to lap 3, the gap is coming up to about 3 seconds now, and currently setting the pace with the fastest lap. So, not doing too badly, even though my previous videos and previous races may suggest otherwise. It seems like doing it this way meant I could focus and deliver the results.
Oh no! No, come on, hold it. Oh, you. Why was I trying to go stupidly quick then? Why did I try and get across the curb? I just stay off the curbs. The gap was 3 seconds. Right. Okay, just keep your head down. Get yourself in the top 3 at least. We've got the old Zozo demon ahead of you. See if we can get him back.
Yeah, I mean, nothing further to add, really. Let's watch the incident again. It's basically me getting carried away. I've done the fastest lap and thinking, yeah, let's go even quicker, let's go quicker. I try and cut across the curb to get a good line. The inside tyres just touch the grass again. Pretty much the same issue that caused it before in the previous race. And I go off and I drop to 4th. Staying with the top 3 into the final lap and trying to catch up. You can see the top 3 right ahead. The top 2 are having a bit of a dogfight. I've got Paxi Zozo just ahead, but as you can see, I'm very untidy. Again, I've not calmed down. I've made a mistake, done something stupid, and I'm still rattled from it. So I need to learn to kind of control my temper, emotions, one or the other, maybe both. Which means, coming out of the final corner, I can see the top 3 ahead of me. I still have the fastest lap, but I've thrown the win away.
The bottler. any other circumstance, I'd be happy with 4th and a fastest lap, but 3 seconds ahead. What an absolute weapon.
It's my first ever fastest lap, that, actually. Didn't feel like celebrating, funnily enough. So, give it one final go. Starting from 3rd, I turned all cameras and microphones off by this point. Basically had a little hissy thinking, you know what, if I turn them all off, I'll focus better. I know, no evidence of that. In my head, it felt like the thing to do, so I was determined to try and finish with a win. So, off we go. Immediately, the front 2 fighting through the first chicane. Spaniard is pushed out wide. I see the chance go around the outside. He then tries to squeeze me. Gives me a few taps for good measure, but I managed to just hold it, keep it on the track. However, the momentum means that Densky has got through, and I've still got the Spaniard on the inside. Brake for the corner, and watch the radar. Just get tapped by a Polish driver, and on the first lap, it's pretty much over straight away. Watching it from his point of view, he's just missed his braking point. He's trying to control it. So he's not done it maliciously by the looks of it, but it's enough to send me round. And I drop to, well, after this little mistake, I now drop all the way to 15th. And just to compound my misery, because I went off the track there, I pick up a track limit penalty. 1 second track limit penalty for running wide there. Again, I knew it was there. Don't do it. But bit harsh, I must say. Immediately pick one up as Kamikaze does exactly that. I then also do exactly that. Again, like I said in the previous race, it's just me not getting my head clear, not getting my head straight. So we skip ahead. I serve the penalty. And now it's about just trying some kind of recovery drive, see what we can do. Immediately pick up 13th from a flailing Polish driver. I knew in rooms like this, as Mickey proves my point, that if I keep myself tidy, my own race tidy, other people will make mistakes, so I'll pick up some easy places. Case in point, thank you very much, Mr. Italian driver. So, already up to 11th. 9th and 10th up ahead, and there's a penalty to be served. So if I just keep focused, could at least have some pride from this. Really mess at the exit, so Mickey, the Spaniard who I've just overtaken, has a look round the outside, tries to cut me up a bit, and because of that, I think he does himself a disservice. If he'd left me the space, I think the momentum, he would have been able to just go around me. Because he tried to kind of shut the door on me, he basically drove into me. And in doing so, he lost all that momentum, and I managed to hold the place. So, up ahead, we then have Vinty Celtic in the Dodge. Now, he gets in a fight with a German. Someone drops out from up ahead, so we all inherit a place. I'm now in the top 10, rather fortunately, because of the spinning German doing his best Sebastian Vettel impression. It's a bit unfair. Vinty kind of rammed into him. Basically, I'm up to 9th now, and I've got Vinty in the Dodge. And immediately you can see that he is twitchy. And also not to be messed with, considering what he just did to that poor German. And now, as we jostle for position, I kind of move across, and Mickey bumps me up the back. It's not his fault. He had a lot of speed and momentum coming through, and because I was trying to get round Vinty, I just ended up moving in the way, and, you know, Mickey had, I think, enough time to get up the inside of me, but he didn't. So in the end, he transferred all his speed onto me, and we all hold station, basically. Vinty in 8th, me in 9th, and Mickey in 10th. As you can see, Vinty's still really twitchy, and I'm looking to try and get around, but I'm a bit hesitant to do so, seeing how erratically he was driving before. However, pick my moment. I take the corner well, he runs wide, I can see the doors open, go for it, tries to ram into me, but I just manage to hold through, and we go up into 8th place. By this point we're on lap 4, I can see the gap ahead is 6.2 seconds. It's unlikely I'm going to pick up any more places. However, coming to the end of the final lap, I can see 6th and 7th, so actually, as recovery drives go, not too bad. Pretty happy with that. This time it was very much, out of my hands. The first two I messed up, I touched the grass, went off. This time I got taken out, and after I'd calmed down, didn't do too badly, and managed to nick the fastest lap with a 1:34 dead on the final lap as well. The gap between me and the best this time round was about 3.5 seconds, but the big comparison here is what happened last time. Have I actually improved in that 2 to 3 week gap? Well, mercifully, in lap time there's an improvement. It is just under 6/10. Last time I used the 911, as I mentioned before, this time the R8. It's debatable whether there's 6/10 in that, but I think there's definitely some improvement there. The telling one is the gap between me and the pros, and fortunately there's an improvement there as well of about 0.4 of a second, so I am closing in. I'm still miles away, but I am closing in. However, the important thing is, what is the pace gap? So, taking the qualifying gaps from all the daily races we've done and averaging them out, the gap is now just over 4 seconds. Basically, my first win came at a price because it was the biggest gap by far, being 7 seconds off the pace. So it's pulled my average up by a second since the start of the video. It's not ideal. However, I'm not going to leave it there because I've not raced in Group 1, Group 2 or Group 4 cars yet, and they're a big part of the game. And because qualifying and the leaderboard sits so nicely alongside the actual races, it means every time I take part in a daily race and do the qualifying, I can constantly update my average pace gap. So even if I'm smashing it in DS rated rooms, or as the case may be, completely bottling it in DS rated rooms, I can see if realistically I'm getting quicker and closing in the gap, or if the best players are just constantly pulling away from me. So that's what we'll do every time we come back to Gran Turismo. We'll do some racing and then see if my own personal performance as a casual gamer is improving, or yeah. However, before anything else, there is one more racing game I want to try, and I've not played this game at all before. I've not played its original version before. I've not touched it. I'm going to be literally booting it up and racing for the first time on camera, which means it's probably going to be an absolute mess. So if you enjoy seeing me make a fool out of myself, which has been kind of the status quo for these videos so far, the next video is very much going to be one for you. Next time, I'm going to be trying out Project Cars 2 for the first time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the videos, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. And yeah, there'll be another video over this side of the screen somewhere, and hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.